Right, okay. Hope you all enjoyed your lunch. We're going to carry straight on. So we've got slightly a bit different session now. We've got a kind of case studies. So we're looking at kind of forward-thinking retailers, independents who've done something different. So adaptation and evolution is our theme. So first of all, I'd like to introduce the panel. So goes from my left. So Matt Renaut, Managing Director at Dacombes of Wimborne. And we've got Ashley Shorey-Mills, from General Manager at Hughes Smart Home. And we've got Ed Griffiths, Operations Manager at Purewell Electrical. And Markus Wood, Managing Director of Avensys. So I thought I'd just get the guys to give us a short introduction on their business, and then we're going to look at what each of them have actually done, and we've got some slides as well, go through what the lessons they've learned, what they've done with their new store, etc, etc. So maybe kick off with you. Just say us a little bit about your business, Matt, about Dacombes of Wimborne.
Yeah, sure. The business has been going for nearly 100 years, based in Dorset and Wimborne. We took over basically another Euronics dealer about 3-4 years ago. Took on their staff and basically been growing ever since, really. We moved to a bigger store in 2011, doing white goods and things like that, really. So and on Saturday we opened our big flagship store in Wimborne.
We'll be coming on to that later.
Yes, okay, that's why it looks
with Harry Redknapp, I understand. He was
yes. My mate Harry, yeah.
Is there any brand envelopes involved? Allegedly. Or did he bring his dog? So Ashley Shorey-Mills, you're the General Manager of Hughes Smart Home. So a little bit about the division. We had Robert on earlier.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about Hughes Smart Home?
Yeah, no, obviously Hughes Smart Home, one of the sort of avenues of omni-channel, one for you, Andrew, as Hughes. So we decided a few years ago that we needed this connected home piece of the market taken seriously, so decided to set up Smart Home. It's about 4 years ago. Very kindly they asked me to set it up and run it, and so subsequently we've just been developing the business alongside what we do with the rest of the business, with everything working together, to take advantage of the connected home.
Okay. Ed, so tell us a little bit about Purewell Electrical.
Purewell Electrical, still a family business. I'm now the third generation there. We've been going for 62 years. Based in Christchurch, so we're also in Dorset. Luckily we don't seem to tread on each other's toes too much. We are a CI member, and I suppose most importantly, just over 2 years ago we opened our new store. So at one stage we had 2 stores. We had a Panasonic store in Southampton and a multi-brand store in Christchurch. We're now just one multi-brand store. We've got a 15,000 square foot showroom. So we'll come on to it later, but there's a lot of focus on the sort of theatre within retail, and I think it's quite interesting, hopefully.
Okay, and Markus Wood, Avensys, says a little bit about Avensys.
Yeah, I set Avensys up 17 years ago. It's a family business, really, so we're quite new into retailing compared with some of my colleagues here. And we do retail, custom installation, smart home, and we do commercial AV, so Virgin Atlantic, we look after all their AV. In the UK, we supply Civil Aviation Authority, Formula One, that sort of thing. And then we do live events, so we supply a lot of venues around Gatwick Airport, we supply Brighton Centre, venues in town, and then we do that back into corporates as well. So, Virgin, Taylist, we do loads of work at Gatwick Airport, that sort of thing.
Cool, right. It's all very different retailers, all very proactive retailers, but as well as we've got you together because you all have very different businesses, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. So we're going to start with you, Ed. So we're going to go through, we've got some slides, I hope this all works. So never work with children and PowerPoints and animals. Cool, oh, look at that, seamless. Okay, so these are just pointers really to go through some of the business, but as you said, a 15,000 square foot superstore in Christchurch and Dorset, ERT award-winning retailer, 2 awards last year, Independent Electrical Retailer of the Year and Website of the Year as well. So really, you created this sub-brand, let's go straight in with that really. You said, cookery theatre, we're going to actually see, we talk about retail theatre, you guys have actually got a theatre, haven't you, in your store? You've got a Neff Cookery Theatre. So let's kick off about that really, the story behind creating this sub-brand, Cook It Purewell. How did that come about and what was the thinking behind it?
I think it was reflected in some of the comments earlier about the importance of localisation and personalisation. Where we had the cookery theatre, we wanted to make sure we had a way to actually engage with the local community. Anyone here that deals with white goods knows that people that are interested in cooking will spend money, they will journey to a specific store if they feel they're going to get something more for it. And Cook at Purewell as the sub-brand is just our way of actually interacting with these people, reaching these people. So the focus is on speaking to local bloggers. I think, I can't remember who, someone mentioned getting bloggers into the showrooms for that.
They mentioned that earlier, working with Mila, didn't we?
That's right, so
cookery schools and things like that, and food fans and things, yeah.
And it works, food fans are crazy. Just look at any TV channel, you've got MasterChef on, there's probably a cookery show on daily. somewhere on mainstream TV. I mean, it's really just us embracing that, tapping into what people want. But it is a slightly different tone. Purewell, we're in Christchurch, as I said. Christchurch has the highest average age in the UK, so that presents its own challenges. Patience being one of them.
As outpatients or
cooking, it seems to be more of a young person's game to a point. And so Cook Purewell, it's a sort of softer brand, it's lighter, it's more fun, I would say, and that's what we're trying to do, is get the dreaded millennials that we all hear talked about. Is how do you get these people into your showroom? And we're trying to use social media and a bit of lightheartedness to draw them in. So that's what Cook Purewell is really there for.
We've got a picture of the store here. That's obviously downstairs in the store as you come in, isn't it? And then upstairs you've got different areas built in for your kitchens, cookery theatre, cook shop. So we're going to talk a bit about those as well.
Okay.
So was the aerial view there? I think I might actually be in that picture at the top. So this is obviously going over. You've created this area upstairs for your kitchens, built-in appliances. And you've got a coffee shop up there as well, haven't you? So
yeah, this area we
coffee
can
lounge.
just see on the left there, that has changed. That was previously what we sort of called the Nespresso bar. And the idea was you can just about see we've got some Nespresso machines there. And we would make free coffees for people. So come in, we'll give you a demo, have a drink, walk around. But it was interesting, the people seemed almost uncomfortable with it. There was, well, what's the catch? I'm getting something for nothing here. So we thought, well, as well as that, we've got fairly corporate-looking seats, which with hindsight didn't work. So we thought, well, stuff this, let's monetize that area. That's now actually a proper coffee shop. We've got a retail park outside that doesn't do any food and drink. And you look at any retail park anywhere in the UK now, it's food and drink that people actually want. Near us, we've had they built a Costa in the car park because such was the demand. So we've used it to actually draw in that extra footfall, and it's great. We encourage people to spend money on a coffee and walk around the showroom. We don't run the coffee shop ourselves, we rent it. In a perfect world, we would run it ourselves, but I'm sure everyone here has had issues with staffing anyway. We didn't really want to go down the route of actually running our own coffee shop on site, changing our approach to things, hiring people for it, doing all the food safety, doing all the risk assessments. So a little bit risk averse from us, I would suggest, but at the same time it just means we're guaranteeing an income from an area that we don't really have to spend a lot of time or effort on. So it's been good. A company called Mocha Turtle, a local company, so there's another story there. We did speak to Starbucks, did speak to Costa to try and get them in. They were sort of interested to a point, and then the franchisee from Starbucks sort of just went off the radar with Starbucks. I can't say any more than that. But it's now a local company in there. They've got a coffee shop just down the road, and they're now in our stores. So we really are waving that local sort of banner, and people have responded really well to it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the reaction been? How's it been since you've done that with the Cookie Purewell? We'll go and look at the cookery theatre in a minute and the coffee shop. How's that worked out for you? What have you noticed since it started? Have you seen an increase in business in certain areas?
Yeah, we've seen a big increase in footfall to the upstairs of our showroom.
Yeah.
Anyone here who's got a showroom across 2 floors probably has encountered what we have, which is people just don't seem to understand that some buildings do have 2 floors. We'll have people just sort of say, oh, where are your cookers? And you point out that they're up the stairs. What do you mean upstairs? Do that staircase at the front with the arrows next to it. But we're getting a much better dwell time as well. So people that are having a coffee, they then wander around. We've got a cook shop, and we've got enough products out on that kitchen anyway, I think, to showcase most of it. But cook shop, you're looking at a 50% margin on those products. And again, it's a market where people buy into it and they seem to just go and go. They always want to add to their collection if they're into cooking. So we get people walking around with a nice cup of coffee, spending money in our coffee shop, and then going, well, while we're here, let's pick up some Joseph chopping boards, let's pick up some Robert Welsh knives or some Le Creuset, whatever it may be. So we've seen our cook shop sales increase. In line with that, we're getting more people signing up to the demos we do in the cookery theatre. And so we're really building a more loyal sort of customer base as far as loyalty goes within retail. And we do see people spending more on a much more frequent basis. I think if you're just doing your white goods and your brown goods, then people may come in once every 18 months, every 2 years, because that's typically when they need to replace an item. Whereas by adding something a little bit more, we get people coming. We get the same ladies in on a Tuesday because they have their 11s, and it just is all good for, and I hate this sort of phrase, but for brand Purewell. You know, people actually start enjoying what Purewell is about and coming in, and that's where you get the recommendations from as well.
This is a cookie theatre as well, isn't it? So this is, can you talk us a little bit about through this?
Yeah, so Ian, who's the MD, and my dad was toying with the phrase retail theatre, and he's a literal man, so we built a theatre. It's a 30-seater sort of auditorium, and very Saturday kitchen in approach. So you can see in the top left we've got a Le Creuset hob. You can see down on one of the screens, and then you can see the prep area where we've got a KitchenAid on the other. So people will spend, it varies, I mean it's from sort of £10 to £30 depending on whether there's alcohol or not being served.
Is that because you can charge more when they're drunk?
Absolutely, that's why we fleece them. And people will come in, and again, we get a really sort of devout following of people that will come to every demo, and it's money in our till. They're learning something. They normally we'll get one of the chefs, whoever's doing it, to promote a certain product. We'll always see an uplift in sales on that product. Again, it's all at a good margin. We do a special £5 off Joseph stretch stand when people come in, and we'll sell one to nearly everyone that comes through the door. So the events do pay for themselves.
This is one of the ones we gave out alcohol or didn't give out alcohol? Yeah.
Looking at the age of the people in there, if it was alcohol, it was Tia Maria. But I don't know what's going on now. I can see a few glasses though. But this is it. It's a very social thing. It does look like a lecture theatre, but people are in there, they're chatting, they're learning, they're asking questions of the chefs, and actually walk out with a really warm feeling towards us. And when we look at the multiples, they certainly don't have really any warm feelings towards them. So it's a really good point of difference for us.
You've worked with, you've done local chef cookery competitions as well in there, haven't you? I know when I came down to saw the store a couple of years ago, Ian was talking about doing the finals of there was a chef's competition, and you've worked with food festivals as well. I know you've done that as well. Matt will talk about that a bit later. But.
Yeah, Christchurch Food Festival held the final for the local chef, and I mean it was great. Brought people in. They just cooked an omelette, which was surprisingly underwhelming in all honesty. For the best chef in the area, they made a cracking omelette.
Literally.
Sorry. So we try and use it for other things other than just cooking as well. We open it up to groups so people can come in and do small presentations. A lot of charities approach us and say, I'm sure we all get it, can you donate so-and-so for us? And rather than actually give out product, we'll give out space, and they can come in and do some fundraising in the shop. So it allows us to do our bit for charity as well, but on a very selfish level, we're just bringing feet into the showroom, which is what we all want, because it's getting to be more and more of a struggle to do so.
We've talked about omnichannel, another one, and you take that one off. So we've talked about obviously making the customer journey. You talked about Cook It Purewell earlier, the sub-brand, and I know you relaunched your website as well last year, and you won an award for it. So this is the Cook It Purewell as well. Is this new? Is this this is the new site? Or, yeah.
This is on the new site.
Yeah.
My brother was a big part in doing the website, so we looked at a number of other retailers in the sort of sector and found that the sort of tablet style was what people were after. It's very visual, it's very easy, it's very accessible, and so this is just through our main website onto the cookouts section, which coexists online with the Facebook page as well. Again, Facebook.
We'll talk about that social media. So we've touched on, we've talked a bit about it earlier, but a massive opportunity for you guys. You're really big on social media, aren't you?
We are, and it's a tricky one because it's very hard to measure the success rate within social media, and I'm not a big fan of the marketing side of things. Apologies to anyone in here from marketing, because I like to see we spent this amount and we return this amount. Great, and you never get that. But we do get a lot of engagement through this. We do quite a lot of sales through it. And since launching the website, 85% of our sales on the website come outside of our normal opening hours of 9 till 6, and it highlights the importance of actually getting into this other market. These people that are hard working, when they get home, they just want to buy something and not actually have to speak to anyone, not have to think about it. I know we all really feel that our core values and core strengths are in the customer service and the knowledge and the expertise, but people seem to be getting more and more precious about their own time. Everyone thinks they haven't got time for anything, and if you're not engaging with them and really acting as an e-commerce platform, I think you are missing quite a lot of opportunities.
Cool, brilliant, thanks Ed. Going to move on to Ashley now and talk about Hughes Smart Home. So late last year you opened your first smart home apartment. This was in Felixstowe Road store in Ipswich.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we've got a store there existing, trading, doing everything that Robert spoke of earlier, but we had some wasted space ultimately out the back, bit of warehouse space, bit of office space, and it was decided that with how we had been growing Smart Home that we really needed somewhere to showcase the product. So hence thought, well, why do we need an extra office? Let's make an apartment. So we did, in essence. Can
you talk us a little bit about through the project? I mean, how long it took? How, obviously Hughes Smart Home, you're going for a few years. You've started off as doing smart installations, Sonos, etc. Grown the business as well to now Smart Home. So a little bit about how you came about coming up with the concept and why you decided to do it.
We started, it's about 4 years ago, around now actually, that it started from a couple of meetings with Robert and Andy and a few other people from other companies sort of getting together and coming up with this idea, and hence we then started. And it was really, there's this mass middle ground that actually to this day still exists, which is why it's such an opportunity for retailers, that between the traditional CI sector and the traditional CE retailer, there is still this massive area of customers that want something more. It doesn't have to be a footballer's house, it doesn't have to be a lot of money. And so we really identified that there's going to be a growth in this market. We were seeing it as a large retailer quite early on that margins were getting tight on CE. And whereas, yes, we would love larger margins, of course we would, actually we looked at it more as an opportunity. Right, we need to grow the sale, we need to do more with that sale. Margin is not going to improve. It'd be lovely if it does, and if it does, we'll win. However, it was more about what can we do to get that margin back. So therefore we decided Smart Home was the way. It was about adding extra product, as Robert said, add extra service, which was the key, because that's where really the extra profit comes in. And so decided to start taking that traditional £2,000-3,000 sale that we were getting every day, not a problem at all, at multiple locations, and turning that into a £4,000 or £5,000 sale by adding more product. Someone said earlier, I can't remember who it was, apologies, that getting into the customer's house was key, because you're crossing that threshold, you're in that trust environment with the customer, and you see so much of an opportunity. I think it was Stellisons was saying with their installers, when they're in the house, there's such an opportunity there, and that's perfect, and that's the way.
Have you got this? Have you thought about that? When you see a TV, have you thought about a soundbar? Have you thought about smart audio?
When they're doing their kitchens, all of a sudden it's like, you're redecorating your living room, and our guys do the same. They go in and do the living room, they're like, you see, you're redecorating your kitchen, do you want a cooker while we're here? And so really we then developed that and took it on, and then with an understanding that we developed from seeing how the market was going, working alongside distributors, working alongside industry partners, like CD got mentioned earlier, to really start to understand where the business of smart home and the Internet of Things was going. So that it wasn't then just about pimping a TV sale, which is the best way to start, and I think I got mentioned by Paul a little bit earlier with regards to that is what a lot of the smart home market was at the start, and it was for us, and I'm glad we did it that way. But then you start to get into far larger grounds with regards to distribution, or it could be lighting or heating, or all of these things that are the Internet of Things. Now, we're fortunate we have access to them, but we needed to train our staff. That was key, and training's been brought up a lot. We did it. We decided if we're going to do this, we've got to do it properly. So we invested a lot of money and a lot of time in our existing staff.
Where do you get the training from to do it? I mean, do you go to manufacturers? Do you go to industry associations, CDA,
AWE, who are also obviously here, and I'll do it on a bit later. It's just I've said it before in some of the articles. The smart home market, and what was previously the custom install market, is very much a family, and everyone wants to help each other. So as much as in theory we're taking business from each other, actually the training's not that expensive, it's readily available, and it's there to support, because it's in Stuart's interest that his training's good, because you then buy from AWE. It's in CD's interest if their training's good, because then you become a member and you fly the flag for them. So everyone wants to work together, and a bit like what Roy and the manufacturer were saying earlier, the manufacturers want to give good training because then you sell their product better. So it's just a bit of 6 of one, half dozen that you've both got to give in this. But we knew that if we were going to get involved in this whole marketplace, even if it was lighting or heating or distribution or anything like that, and Wi-Fi got brought up earlier, is that we've got to understand it. And the biggest thing of that is we're fortunate, we're a trusted retailer. We're spread across, we're quite intense in East Anglia and obviously now across the rest of the country. But people know us and trust us. So therefore, we're pushing on an open door with regards to offering this type of service, yes. But then also the pitfalls are greater if we then don't live up to what we've done for the last 95 years. And then really and truly over the past few years it's just been growing, knowledge has been increasing to the point where actually we needed to be able to show what we can do. And the idea of that was that every little aspect of the smart home is then in one place.
So let's talk us through this maybe. This says this is a lounge area.
In essence the space is, it's smaller overall than from this wall to where that door is, but what we did is we separated it into a garden area, a kitchen, a bedroom and a living room. And the idea really was just that small little room sets where it just looks like a normal house. I'm a big fan of some of these showrooms that you see that look really fancy. They do look amazing, but we were actually trying to go along the line of, you walked in there and your first impression was, that's nice. It wasn't meant to blow you away. It's not meant to. What's meant to happen is then when the customer starts engaging with it, actually starts pushing some buttons on a tablet, pushing some controls on the wall, that things happen. Because then it's like a normal house. It's just, look at this, This is what it looks like. This is a TV. This is some ceiling speakers. But hang on a second, push this. Look what happens. And it was about really engaging with the customers. And I know earlier it got talked about by quite a few people about the types of customers. But what we've noticed is that the smart home or the connected home, whatever you want to call it, it's not just younger customers. And that point was proved great when Chris came out and did the article in November, that while we were chatting and doing the interview, a couple came in that seen our advert who were in their mid-60s because they were really, really interested in this sort of technology. And I know Chris was sort of stood back and thought, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, is that this market is growing. It's great for new customers, but your existing customers that you've known for the last 30, 40 years, that have always bought their stuff from you, a bit like what you guys have done, is diversified to keep them coming back to your shop.
Yeah.
They're going to want this stuff. It might be touching on heating, it might be touching on lighting, it might be that they do want a projector and a cinema, but they're going to want this stuff. So keep that customer.
Talk us through some of the product stuff. I know it's a lounge area, so you've got is that server you use on the server on that with the video, or how does that work?
No, in all honesty, that's just at the moment an Apple TV,
right.
Because everything is centrally based. Actually, what was my office has now turned into a very hot comms room, so I don't sadly have an office anymore. But we've just got 4 or 5 TVs. So you've got a TV on the wall, but that's being fed from an HT-based matrix. That's then got a couple of skyboxes, a Blu-ray player, PS4, Xbox, Apple TV, CCTV, all sat there, and then that's accessed on 4 or 5 TVs throughout the house, and the customers can then see how easy it is to have multiple sources on multiple TVs without seeing any cables, because everything's nice and hidden. And the whole aim was that it can be big and flashy, it can be normal. We've got new TVs, we've got 4-year-old TVs in the room. We've purposely put old equipment in there to show the customer you don't have to buy a new telly, we'll make your old one work. And we've happened to put speakers in the wall because some people don't like seeing speakers, but we can also hide speakers behind the wall if they want. But it's about showing the customers all the options. And then the big thing with this, the reason we wanted to do an actual showroom is for the first time we wanted to step into lighting and heating and that type of control. Yeah. So that again, there's not many more things people have to have in their house than a washing machine or a fridge freezer, but lighting and heating is one of them. So again, it makes sense to be relevant to the customer to actually be able to offer this service.
I was going to say, shall we go into the bedroom? But I probably shouldn't say that.
Well, hey, sure.
We are in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So this is a slightly different area. A lot of electrical retailers are probably going to think about the smart home as being TV. It's going to be maybe home appliances. But this is literally a new area for you guys, I guess, moving into the bedroom.
It's just to be able to show that the lighting. I mean, the main aim of the bedroom, aside from that, we've now got the picture frame actually covering up the television, so that you've got an automated thing, so pictures on the wall, and when you want to watch telly you push a button, the picture drops and the telly turns on. So just the simple little ideas for a customer. In the dining room little area we've got where we sit and talk to people, there's a mirror, so the TV's hidden in a mirror. Again, for certain people, we've been amazed by how popular this has been. We never thought it would be. It was a bit of a quirky idea, but people like to hide stuff. Well, if you can take, our average mirror is about £1,700, and the average TV that goes in there is about 550 net. So you're taking a 10% TV at 550 quid and adding a 40% accessory at 1,700 quid. I mean, it's not for everyone, don't get me wrong, but we've actually been quite surprised by how many we've sold over the past 18 months. So when we're talking about adding value to your existing CE customers, there is ways of doing it without just always, it'd be nice if they do, but if the manufacturers aren't going to give you more margin, you've got to look at the other products that are available.
Okay, we've got the kitchen area there. We can just see it side by side with the American style fridge freezer there. So what have you done with the kitchen area? I'm not sure we've got photos of everything.
No, we've got smart appliances in there.
Yeah.
We needed to create a kitchen, so we've got blinds.
Yeah.
We've got Aquavisions, we've got a TV that's sunk into the wall that looks nice and swish, but then also we've got smart appliances. That's going to become a growing area. We need to take it seriously. We decided to put Bosch in there, and just because we have the chat with them, and Bosch as a company want us to be relevant to them, so therefore we need to take their products seriously. So therefore, if we're showcasing their flagship new Home Connect products in an environment where a customer can come in and touch and feel and turn on the washing machine with their phone, or get a coffee off their phone while they're being given a demonstration of everything else in the showroom, that makes Bosch happy, which means they support us more. That means they supply us customers via their website, we get more business, everyone's happy. So it was about having products that customers and also manufacturers could direct themselves to.
When you went to manufacturers, were they pretty receptive to you? Did you like your ideas? How far ahead were you working with the brands, and did they, flock to be in there, or how was it kind of, this is new for us, we need to try it out? How did it work?
I think it was new for us, obviously, but we found every manufacturer that we spoke to about putting their product in there was very receptive. Now, obviously, I'm sure every brand would have loved to see their brand name in there, because ultimately from if you saw them, you wouldn't see it was Bosch unless you got up close. It's not like we're putting a shop in shop like we do with other shops.
Sure.
But what we've done with Smart Home, and I said this at the Retro conference as well, is really try and make manufacturers realise that we're the relevant retailer for them.
Yeah.
So by putting the products in there, demonstrating them the way they want them, they are then happy to pass us customers, which is what I know the earlier retailer said as well about getting customers on that journey to them.
And towards the end, we'll talk about where you guys want to go next with stuff, but we'll probably move on to you now, Matt. So, well, there's another one there. Sorry, that's the kitchen area. We did have a photo of that as well. So other brands are available. So okay, so we've got you just opened your. You look very tired. It looks like you just opened a new store. Have you opened a new store
now? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we opened. Grand opening was on Saturday. It's been a lot of work.
There it is. That's a new store now open. Look at that.
Yeah, that's it. The whole idea really was I didn't want to use the word lifestyle much, but basically I go into Currys and all these places like that.
Yeah. Rows
and rows of televisions, rows of everything, no relevance to my customer or to me at all. So what I wanted to do was put it in an environment that it would be used in. So we created a lounge area for the televisions, a kitchen area for selling kitchen appliances and things like that really.
So you're calling it a destination store, so it's in Wimborne.
Yeah.
4,500 square foot, and it's a former furniture store as well, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because the shop, if I remember rightly, you saved it from demolition, didn't you? The building, which is demolished.
The reason we had two stores in the centre of Wimborne really, and it was mainly what we call kind of pop-in shops. So customers pop in and have a look, and I think the amount of time they were in the store wasn't a huge amount of time. We had two smaller stores, and it worked quite well, but we didn't have our own car park and things like that. Going to the new store, as I say, it's a destination store. It would be a case of they park there, and we want to keep them there for we want to keep them looking around the store, having a coffee, and being more of a relaxed atmosphere.
So you're central, you're slightly out of town, whereabouts?
We're only sort of 5 minutes from the centre of Wimborne, really, but on the road out of it. But the whole thing really is we want them to come there, spend some time there. As I say, we've got coffee machines.
So this is we're going to talk about this now. So you're offering a bespoke fitted kitchen service.
Yeah, well, we had, because of the space, I've always wanted to do kitchens, always wanted to sell kitchens, because it's very labour intensive. You can't buy it on the internet, and customers want to buy from a trusted brand, hopefully like ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's a quite a big. Potentially a lot of problems there if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we've been working with a local company, MK Interiors, for 2 or 3 years now. Okay. We got on very well with them, and we've been supplying them work, and they've been supplying us work. And we had a space there really, and basically we're kind of renting them that area.
Okay.
But we've got our appliances in there, so it's a selling point for us as well, so we can sell from there.
It's a bit of a learning curve, obviously, going into kitchens. If you're doing it for our kitchens, what were the kind of challenges, I guess? You partner with a local. We talked about specialisation, the local areas. Partnering with other visitors. What were the challenges you faced moving from the electricals? I know Ed, you've done it as well with moving into kitchens. So maybe we'll talk a bit about that later. Was it a challenge for you? How was it easy? Was it working with these guys?
Well, working with these guys, they did all the carpentry around the store.
Right.
So I could say to them, I want that there and that there and that. They would do that.
Yeah.
But, and then they would do their own kitchens as well. So they had a big hands-on with the whole store as well.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 or 3 carpenters putting down floors and stuff like that, and it made it a lot easier. So I could rely on them.
Let's talk a little bit about the process of opening a brand new shop. And we talked about shops closing earlier, but in a tough time, you're opening a new shop. It's a big investment for you as well, isn't it? What gave you the opportunity to be able to do that? Whereas,
I like to think we've been there. We've been there a long time, and we've got a trusted customer base. And I can see retail changing, and what people want is they want an environment that's nice and airy, and they don't want rows and rows of boring displays and things like that. And so what we've done is we've got a bigger store, but the same amount of product in that store, but more kind of
kitchen there.
Yeah, so kind of relaxed really. Things like the picture frame, mirror TV above a fireplace, and sort of in a television in the sort of lounge area, and just more relaxed. Sofas everywhere, and coffee, Plenty of coffee.
Yeah.
We
We're not talking about coffee.
Plenty of coffee.
It's a habit there. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We talk about partnering with certain brands. So you've worked, I know you work with Neff, Samsung, Bosch, Panasonic, Liebherr, Dyson's for the other brands. So
Yeah.
how do you kind of choose which brands you partner with, or do you go to them? Do they go to you? Tell them they've got a new store. What's that relationship like?
Yeah, some have been really helpful, and other ones have kind of not been that interested, and we sort of kind of make our decision on how enthusiastic they were with us. Yeah, we've had some very good support. You know, as I say, we've over a number of years we've built those relationships anyway, so we know if they're interested in kind of helping us and increasing our business.
Yeah, you talked earlier as well. So you talked out laid out like key areas in a home. So we've got fitted kitchens. You've got a selection of white goods and TV and AV lounge as well, which I'm assuming this is a TV and AV lounge. So
there's quite a lot of, because we want to be part of the community. We've got quite a lot of the local community having meetings all over Wimborne. We've got some 2 or 3 interested in coming into our lounge area now, actually having meetings. For example, Wimborne Women in Business, some of the other local sort of amateur dramatics and all sorts
retail
of
theatre, quite.
Yeah, it's retail theatre.
Yeah.
So so we've got the community coming to us.
Yeah.
And as I say, not far away from that, we've got that coffee machine, and we've got the kitchen. We're going to be baking, giving them biscuits and things like that. You know, when they're having their meeting, things like that. So
some of the products. You've got an ERT award on the shelf.
Yes, that's
nice
it.
plug.
Yeah.
Vinyl as well. You're captain on the vinyl revival.
Oh yeah.
Radio, and obviously you've got radiogram there for Renaut products as well.
Yeah.
And hi-fi. You noticing these sort of, we talked about growth areas. Paul from GFK talked earlier about things like vinyl and audio. Is this an area that is this new to you? Have you done it in the other store? Or is it brand new for the new store?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of everybody comes in. Oh, you got a turntable, and even the youngsters now buying turntables. Probably most of everybody here knows. But it's the it's just just want to create a relaxed environment really, and these are talking points.
Yeah,
we make talking points. It's a big thing.
What we've seen, I think, it seems to be a trend for people to to recreate the home areas. You've done it with the lounge area as well. You guys have done it as well. So how's it been? It's only just opened, but how was your opening weekend?
Very good. We, as you mentioned earlier, we had Harry Redknapp, and that was a very big coup, really.
And the local mayor as well.
Local mayor as well, yeah. It's got a lot of Colin Mitches around the country as well as locally. So yeah, it's been very good, and we've lots of people popping in and having a look, and lots of positive comments really. And the staff, I mean, the staff of we've got one of the televisions, we've got a 65-inch and a Atmos soundbar, and they've already planned a pizza and PlayStation evening. That's after work, so they can't get rid of the staff. They won't leave, So yeah.
And I was going to also ask a bit about maybe looking at other things that you've done. Now you've done the food, Ed's done the food festival. Yeah. You've worked with local businesses, but you also worked with the Wimborne Food Festival. Was big for you as well. You've covered that in ERT in the past as well. I know that's a big thing for working with the local community. You've just touched on it. We're talking about retail, Amdram, and working with women's groups and stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about the food festival as well?
Well, the food festival is just basic celebration of food, and obviously with our connection with Neff and people like that, it's kind of the middle class kind of feel is perfect for the brands we do as well, really. So we had the huge, great Neff fan right in the centre of Wimborne Square.
Okay.
That was phenomenal. We're still getting business from it now, and that was 2 years ago. So, but we sponsor the food festival, which is really good, and also the folk festival as well, which is more about music and audio visual as well. So we partner up with Samsung with that as well. So
you put your folk musicians in the store.
Yeah, everyone welcome.
Cool. Great. Okay, so going to move on to our final retailer now. We're all going to sort of have a group chat at the end of it, but Markus, going to talk us through what you've done. So you opened last year. You opened one of the UK's largest smart home apartment retail upstairs in your Crawley Superstore. There is your Crawley Superstore. So maybe tell us a little about what the thinking behind that. So you've got your store's 40,000 square foot.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably need to rewind back probably 7 years.
Yeah.
We engaged with Cass Business School in London and got some of their MBA students to look at our business, look what we're doing, and what is the future for the CI side of the business and the retail. And then they came up with this thing called Smart Home. They did the plan of where it's going. They did press releases from 2016, I think, and Yeah, it's quite funny. It's quite apt. One of them, it said there, with local presence, you'll be able to fulfil this, whereas the multiples and the nationals won't be able to penetrate the local marketplace.
Yeah.
So I was actually quite impressed with that. I read through it again last night before I came in and thought, shit, I did get that right. So it was quite clever, really. So at that time we had 5 sites. We had a Panasonic store, we had a brown goods, sort of custom install TV, hi-fi shop, and then the commercial sides of the business. So we set about then trying to identify and locate a building, which took about 3 or 4 years to find. But we eventually managed to find the freehold on this property here, which cost us £1.8 million, but it's worth every penny in investment. In terms of where we're situated near Gatwick Airport, the actual building's over doubled in price since we bought it, so it's quite a result. So we engaged with the brands. We had a Panasonic store in County Mall, and we wanted to carry on with the investment we put into that brand and move that into our shop. So to give you an idea with that though, the rent rates and service charge, we're in a mall, that was £80,000 a year we were paying for that. And then when I pro-rata it off onto here, it's £12,000. Same floor space, same presence, everything else. Parking, destination stores. So we work with a lot of the brands, Sony's, we've got Sony Shopping, we've got Miele, full working kitchen, we've seen as IQ Centre, we've got Smeg Zone in there, I think it's one of the first Smeg Zones to go in. That's been
Golf
really
simulator
good.
as well, haven't you?
We have a golf simulator, I want to bring theatre, presence, action, all this sort of stuff in.
Vinyl, you're selling records as well. Big hi-fi area as well.
We do a lot Pioneer, look, Yamaha, other brands, but also really engaged with English speaker manufacturers. We do a lot of Bowers and Wilkins, Kef, etc. A lot of hi-fi, and then we've put in a Samsung shop and an LG, and we do Fisher and Paykel, Hot Point, and we've got we've moved the shop around various times and done different building work, but we've got SDA area downstairs, and So
we're now going to go from, this is obviously outside the store, so this is the smart apartment. So this was upstairs. This is upstairs in the store, isn't it?
So when we bought the building. There's 2 stories here, so we had to build 8,000 square feet of maternal mezzanine. And I got so bored of sitting there talking to a customer saying, imagine this speaker's your front room, or this is your kitchen, and this is your bedroom. So we really wanted to be able to display that and visually show it to the customer and then play with it, etc. So what you can do is sit there with a tablet. We've got 200 Panasonic solar panels on the roof, so we've got a 48 kilowatt system there, so you can see how much electricity you're using, and then producing, and how much you're using, and then you can control obviously everything in the smart home that you want. The control system we base that on is Control 4. We've got training centre and demo rooms next door, and that's all Crestron based. But it's actually it's very good because the TV there on the screen is a Panasonic 65DX902, but that comes out through the ceiling.
Right.
But it really removes the commodity element of the sale. So the customer doesn't say, how much is that TV? The customer says, well, how much is to have that solution in my house? So, and you've got full, that's an old picture there, but...
What's the new pictures as well,
but
you've got a lounge dining area, a designer kitchen, bathroom, a snug, a study, and a 7-seater Dolby Atmos home cinema. Which is very good. I say we came down the night and watched the opening of Spectre on it, and I may have had a beer while we were there, but very impressive.
With a beer, we're a fully licensed premises, so we're the same as a pub now. So it's quite scary, really.
So you don't do the coffee like us?
No, it's alcohol. Get drunk, take advantage.
Miss your flight at Gatwick Airport, just give Markus a call. You can pop in.
So the kitchen you see there's a full Samsung Smart Kitchen, so it's got the family hub in there. That's one to tell. It hasn't got the hub in there. You've got the smart cooking ovens, etc. But even there, we have the Samsung Economist down, and we did one in December, and this is on the first floor as well. So they're cooking away there, and we sold 1 4.5 grand family hub and 3 top of the range cookers just off the back of after that come do some cooking.
So which area is this?
That's a snug, so another listening area there. This is trying to demonstrate a smaller cinema solution. So the screen drops down out the ceiling there, automated. The blind drops down, and then you can have some surround sound. So that's more at the £3 grand, £5 grand proposition. But projectors aren't really expensive nowadays, and the hi-fi and some of the other elements. So the hardest bit there was getting the smallest screen we could, because I think it's only about 1.5 metres wide, that screen, etc. But then also everything you see, we sell all the furniture here. So they're width Spitfire chairs, you've got Witt Spitfire fridge that we sell, and then so every item from the rugs to the flooring, we also sell all of that now. So, and you can actually make a lot more margin selling a sofa than a TV.
And the important thing is people can walk in as well. Some smart homes, it's this very appointment only, and people may feel a bit put off if they're doing, may feel a bit elitist, but anyone can walk in it. And I did it myself.
Come upstairs, have a look around. So, when you look at the products, you've got different product sets in here. So when you come up the stairs, you've got front door, you've got a biometric fingerprint reader, you've got Yale smart locks, but then you've got Panasonic smart home products as well. So you've got the £100 products they can take away and play with, or you've got just a biometric reader and the Yale smart locks, probably a couple of grand, but then it's got to be installed. And then it's also important that those two items don't talk to each other.
Right. So
you need to get items that are on an open platform, and then Control 4 then talks to them. And more importantly, when the customer's actually been in and buys some of these things, if it's all open platform, then they come back and they might put that somewhere else. So, for example, we've just done one where the biometric reader wasn't the front door, but they've now put it on a swimming pool. So they've just got to scan their finger, and it turns the lighting on, puts whatever scene they want, and etc. And also in some of the cinema rooms where you've got kids, if you've got a Kaleidoscope player, for example, you can put the biometrics reader on the cinema room. The kids have to scan it, and then it doesn't show any of the adult content that may be on the server, etc. So, yeah.
I can't crowbar anything else in there. I'm not going to do a gag on that one. Let's just leave that one. Okay, so people are going to be looking at this, and actually you partner with certain brands as well, and you need to do training. How did you kind of get involved? You've got a background in AV, and did you kind of learn a lot of it yourself? Did you kind of go to brands for training? How does it work with you? Did you get involved with CEDIA?
Yeah, we're members of CEDIA, and we do the CEDIA training, we do AWE training, also we do a lot of brand training as well. Because we do commercial AV, we're members of Infocom as well, so we do Infocom training, so it's really working on the training. The training is probably the most critical bit that you need to do, so it's very, very important way forward. And working with the brands on it, it was quite straightforward for us. We sort of had a vision of what we wanted to do. Approached the brands, they were all really keen, really supportive. So
how's it been since you've opened it? Opened it late last year. Shane Ritchie opened yours.
Shane did, one of our customers.
He's got one better than you. Yeah.
I'm still, I don't know if that's better or worse, but he's just a bit of a white boy. But it cost me a 65-inch TV, but it was well worth it. So since we opened, I actually looked at the numbers beforehand, and direct sales related from it. So the first 6 months, it's done £500,000 so far. The scary thing is that with quotations, there's over £2 million worth of quotations out there, and I can foresee within the next 12 months that smart home will take more money than they do in the shop downstairs. Right. But then also one of the other guys said today that but you're selling a smart home, but it's going to be Panasonic TVs or Sony TVs, and then also. One of the reasons we started doing the white goods was to bring the white goods into the sale. So we're doing a £100,000 job starting next week, but and then there's £15,000 of Miele products to go in there alongside it. So it's quite difficult to do one without the other, but working the two together works very well.
Some people are going to be sat here thinking, the smart home, get scared of it, and we're going to be talking about a bit about that with Andy Griffiths in a session this afternoon. But you're all very different kind of retailers. You guys are doing a smart home. You're a smaller, local independent. You're a bigger local independent. What kind of lessons, I guess, can other independents learn? If someone sees that and they say, "Oh, I haven't, it's Gatwick Airport. I haven't got that kind of space. I haven't got a smart home. I can't do that." What would be your advice for some independent retailers who are looking to make that next step to get into the smart home? Maybe Markus Wood.
What we used to do was we didn't have the room either. Our old shop was less than 2,000 square feet, so we would make a small room set up, and then. So it might have surround sound on it and TV and everything, and you just sell that. So I'd say that's £2,000 when I install that in your home. But I mean, what you can do now, and we have it downstairs. We have a Control 4 wall, so metre wide wall. Put TV on it, sound bar. You can control the AV, etc. on there. Put a blind on there. Put some lighting on there. Some security, and then you can just demonstrate it from that. And it's really rather simple way of doing it.
Yeah. Actually, bringing you in on that. I mean, you're doing this smart apartment, not on such a grand scale as Markus has done it. But what would be your advice for indies who are looking at it and thinking, well, Hughes has got 50 stores. How can I compete with that? How can I do it on my local level and make it work for my business and my customers?
Exactly the same as what Markus said. Really, it's obviously done CI for some time. It's slowly built it up. The only reason we've done the apartment now is because we've got all of our stores understanding what the basics are and what can be done. And I think, all you've got to do is, if you look into a Curry's or a John Lewis out there, they have these little freestanding display units that are 1 metre wide for Nest and for Smart Things and for whatever else they're selling at the time, that are meant to be interactive, but they're often not. But we've probably all now got space, if we look on our shop floor, where we could have a 1 metre wide space, floor to ceiling, selling this concept. So just because, if you haven't got a spare office like we had, or a whole floor like Avensys have got, you can do something on your shop floor, because it's product that complement what you're already selling. This is not a new area, this is just an adaptation of what you're already selling in your shops, whether it's brown goods or white goods or even SDA to a degree. We were talking about Roberts earlier, their radios are smart. This is everything we sell. This is just now adding value to it, and it's the next generation. A bit like what you said about your magazine earlier, what you used to be and what you now are. It's not that you've changed, it's just you've adapted. Well, what we're selling is still going to be what we're selling probably in 5-10 years' time, but how we sell it and the products we sell with it have changed from what they did when I started with Hughes a number of years ago, and what's happened over the years. So it's just about starting. Invest in the training, that is the key. I agree. We've already all got staff. We've probably all got staff that are installing stuff now. They're probably not installing as much as they used to. So therefore, why not use them? We've got the staff. Let's use them in a different way. Let's not have as many people on the shop floor. Let's have more people going out to customers' homes, installing stuff or quoting, and start to make that money out of our probably most expensive assets, which are our staff.
Yeah. Ed, are you looking at the smart home? And we didn't touch on it in your presentation, but obviously you've done well on the kitchen showroom, the kitchen furniture, working like Matt has on the kitchen side of it. What's your kind of take on the smart home? Is that an area that's interesting to you? Well, you're looking at it with interest.
We are, yeah. It's, I've been up to see Stuart AWE and speak about a few things. We're getting some guys sent on the training, because it's a huge part of our future, and I think everyone here today is going to walk away thinking, wow, I really need to be involved with the smart home. I think it's very easy to look at where your shop is and say it's not right for me, but I think the reality is there's going to be enough business out there, and it's going to deliver such a much better return in terms of margin as well, that it's worth us all getting involved with. Even where we are, we've got a lot of elderly, but my word, they've got a lot of money and nothing better to spend it on as well. So it's looking at how we can actually protect our own retail presence and deliver that. And like Ashley said about space in a showroom, we're fortunate we've got a large showroom, but we all know there's going to be at least 2 products that aren't really selling on your shop floors, and if it's just removing them to put in a freestanding unit or something like that, then absolutely it's worth doing. So we are going down the avenue.
Matt, moving you on this one, because you obviously just opened a new store, very different store from the other guys as well. So, how do you see it as a smart home? Something that you're looking at? How do you do it in the, you've still got a destination store, but it's still quite a small store at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a small store. I think it's reliability. I think the first thing is we all got to look at it, and we've all got to realise it is the future. We get so many problems with routers and Wi-Fi and things like that, and if all of this is sitting on Wi-Fi, we've got to know that it's going to work, because I don't want guys going out there and going back again and trying to get it to work. So I think it's early days certainly for us, but for you guys, you probably had you gone through your
we still have problems. We still have problems over the weekend with other issues to do with smart home products. These things happen, but part of our training right at the start was not just about these extra products that we're selling, it was things like Wi-Fi, it was infrastructure, so that when you go out, you're not just adding products to a customer's existing Wi-Fi network, you're actually saying to them, right, this is what we're going to do to your home, then we're going to add these products. And of course, all of a sudden, that's completely incremental business, massive profit, because it's accessories and it's add-on products, it's products the customer never expected. And of course, this is keeping you relevant, and this is keeping you busy, and high-margin products, which has been said loads of times today is what we're missing. So.
Okay, finally, we're going to probably answer questions in a minute, but I just wanted to ask, you've all done this, so you've got brand new projects pretty much. So where next then? Maybe going to you, Markus. You've got the smart home up there, the apartment. What are you looking at next, as much as you can say?
The next bits we're doing, golf simulators, actually moving to the second floor, putting a man cave, bedroom, some other bits up there. It's good fun. There's no bedroom at the moment, which is only pain, but we'll have that soon. But just, I suppose, where our business has moved, we're putting a Bang & Olufsen shop in downstairs, shopping shop. And we've got Lerva coming in at the same time as well. We're redoing some of the kitchens. We've got 4 working kitchens at the moment. Okay. One we're really missing is a Smeg working kitchen, so we're going to put one of those in. And some of the big drivers really are the training element we've touched on before. So we're getting probably 10 of our guys going through SCT courses. And then the other thing we're qualified to do is, through CEDIA as well, is to get CEDIA CPD courses. So that's when you're giving designers, builders, architects courses, so they can come in and for their bid and river standards they can get accreditation points for it. So they can get 9 accreditation points for attending one of our sessions. But then the important bit there is that you're then dealing with the people that spec to the customers. So then rather than one customer, their architect said this, you get into an architect, you can get into numerous customers. So developing that, and then a big opportunity, which I think a massive opportunity for everyone's MDUs, so multiple dwelling units, stuff like that. So
what's an MDU?
A multiple dwelling unit, block of flats or whatever. So control white goods and everything within that area. So
on the commercial side of things as well,
Yes, but that fits into retail and smart home. So lots of interesting things.
Ed, what's next for Purewell? Where do you go now?
I think it's embracing the smart home, but very conscious of walking before we're running. And that's something I've taken from Hughes that you were discussing at the Retro conference about. You guys started quite small and it's grown from that. And I think we're very conscious of that and not wanting to go in and get a £100,000 install and get it completely wrong, because that would be a bit of a problem. So there's that, but then I guess on the flip side, we're also looking at going more into the building side of things. Where we started doing fitted kitchens, we've seen that an inordinate amount of people that are buying a kitchen are actually doing other building work. Fortunately for us, Ian, my dad's background was actually in building before he joined this trade, and so we're doing quite a few projects where we're doing far more than just a kitchen. We're actually doing an extension with a kitchen in it, and then going in through the smart home. Suddenly we'll be putting networking around that as well, and there's a hell of a lot more money doing that than there is selling a washing machine. So we're just looking to slowly cultivate that, but that's the work in progress.
And actually, what's another smart apartment?
Well, if the need's there, yes, is the short answer. We're constantly looking at what the success is going to be from Ipswich First. I mean, the good news is as of yesterday, we signed our first contract for a big, what other classes now are big, full, whole house, start to finish, which is great. Only a couple of months after we opened the apartment, and I think said about the quotes thing. I mean, if I had up our quote stage within 2 months, we're probably somewhere in the region of about £400,000 to £500,000 in a couple of months just at quote stage. Now, great if they all come off, we're going to be busy and we're going to struggle in that respect, and I doubt they'll all come off. So that's really where most of our development's going. However, a bit like what Avensys is doing as well with regards to a key for us this year is to try and get into the housing developers, the architects, sort of things. So we're not quite at that CPD stage through CEDIA, but we're now beginning that conversation with them, because we're very much about trying to get the business ourselves by attacking the architects, the developers, particularly housing developers. For me, I think is a key area. So that's really what we're going for this year.
It's not fair to you, asking you've only just opened your shop, but
open another one.
Well, business to business, really. We've been doing quite a bit of business with builders and things like that, and with the kitchen guys that have come in. They know a lot of builders as well, and we do as well, so we can try and put that work together. That would be the future, really. Cookery schools and things like that. We've got a decent kitchen to do cookery demonstrations and things like that. It's just basically being part of the community. I just want the whole of the community to be in the store. Whatever they want to use it for, they can have it. I just want to integrate, really. So.
I was going to say, on that point, we've noticed, just away from smart home for a second, and a point was raised earlier, and also what you guys at Purewell have done. What we've noticed, Hughes side of things that works incredibly well, is we've done the localisation thing and the community thing for the last couple of years, and that's been imperative to us, because you've seen most of our stores are very small, very small little towns, very local populations, but that's been so important. And we've done, one of our biggest success, we do a lot of blogs through our website. The biggest success we had is recently doing recipes. Our blog writer herself at home at night, cooking using some appliances she takes home, but they've been some of our most successful blogs. Nothing about products, just about recipes, and that gets them people on our website, which of course then encourage them to go and have a look at the product on our website, which hopefully means they buy it. And as Robert said earlier, when they look at a telly, they buy a washing machine. So if they happen to be looking at a KitchenAid mixer that someone's used, hopefully they might look at buying a smart home product. So it just, that localisation and community thing is so important.
Of course, we've got about 5 minutes now, so we've got time. If anyone's got any questions, we've got 5 minutes till the networking coffee break. But if anyone's got any questions, stick your hand up and ask them.
I've got a question.
Go on then.
I I think what links all four of you here, whether it's smart home or cookeries or any of these things, they are
Alcohol.
yeah. Maybe later. Is that you've talked about product training a lot, but how about actual sales technique trainings? It's a completely different sale to just selling someone a TV. To walk a customer around these apartments, or to convert a lead from a cookery demonstration into a sale. How have you approached how you sell things differently? Not necessarily products, but how you sell them.
From our angle, obviously, again, being a larger retailer, we push on an open door a lot of the time with manufacturers with training. It's great. They come to us, we go to them. But within our company, we also focus an awful lot of our training on staff development. You know, it got mentioned earlier, I can't remember who it was by, if I'm honest, about if we're going to have less customers, we've got to be better with our customers, and only the best independents are surviving, so great, we can only do that with good staff. And I said earlier, they're getting more expensive, so we need good staff, and we've got to justify them a lot more. But we're doing it by a lot of sales-based training. So yes, in a couple of months' time, all the new ranges of Sony TVs will come out, and Sony will very kindly, Roy will arrange training, and we'll all go along and see the difference from the 16 to the 17 range. But then what we will then work afterwards with our teams, either locally or as a whole company, is that's the difference is how do you put that into context for the customer when you're demonstrating it and selling them why they should spend an extra £400 on last year's model. So yes, manufacturers need to help us with products, but then we have to continually develop ourselves with regards to selling skills and sales skills, especially, yes, we've built an apartment now, but until we have the apartment, that's quite a hard thing to do. It's about conversing with the customer.
Any other guys want to comment on Ed?
Yeah.
Markus? Go Markus.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of training with manufacturers, training courses, CEDA, Infocom, all the stuff I mentioned before. We also, I'm a director of the big company where we're based on the estates. We run West Sussex Central College training courses there, so for management courses, sales courses, other stuff like that. So we get to put our people on it, plus other companies send people on it and they have to walk through our shop to get in there, so that's quite good. And I think one of the questions you asked is the smart home sale, and similar with say a larger TV or a Bang & Olufsen sale, it's more of a consultative approach than a consultative sale. And even when we do arrange tours around the smart home, they're quite scripted as well, and then you can understand what the customer's needs are, because a lot of the stuff with a lot of the AV, you're selling smart home, you think of AV, but that's really the bonus bit at the end. It's heating, lighting, security, the other elements that go for that. So there's a lot of understanding the customer's needs, more of a consultative scale, and getting as much training. All of our retail staff are all in on one day of the week. So that one day of the week, we can send half of them off to training. We do training courses in-house, and it's the most critical thing.
Ed, do you want to?
Yeah, I think it's, without getting sort of bogged down in the minutiae of it, it's an interesting learning for us was that however enthusiastic you are about change and implementing something new and it being a great opportunity, chances are your staff won't feel the same way because it's change and the expectations of them are now slightly elevated. So we have got rid of a few members of staff because they just wouldn't actually engage. It's things like we're now selling kitchens. They didn't want to know. They'd happily sell a Bosch washing machine day in, day out, but when it was even just getting them to ask the question, well, why do you need a new washing machine? Oh, I'm doing my kitchen up. For that to then say, well, have you seen our kitchens upstairs? And it was surprising actually that not everyone will share the vision. So it's just keeping that sort of momentum going, and we do that through external training in store. We do internal training, and then we obviously do the training that the manufacturers provide as well. But I think salesmanship training is actually the biggest thing that our industry needs. It's not product knowledge. I think most of us have now got staff who know products, so when a new one comes out they can quickly ascertain why it is different, but it's actually putting it across in a way that is interesting and exciting to engage customers when they are coming through the doors.
I said that sales training is different now from what it was 10-15 years ago, because now it's so much about the personality of the person who's serving, because I think Robert said earlier, our staff, as good as they are, cannot inform a customer more than Google. They can't. So it's now about that personality they can put across to actually say, I'll give you the information you need, not all of it, and actually I'll do it in a way that's quite fun that you remember me. That's different from what it has been when I joined the company, for example.
Matt, final word on that?
Yeah, we're talking about staff. That's the most important thing, having decent staff. And I think we've all had a horror story or horror stories of various staff. I've been through the mill, some of the stories. But I've got a good group of staff now, and it's important to the business, really important. And training those staff, top priority. Having the products on display,
and having the staff that are enthusiastic about it. And the way you do that is you send them on training courses, and you get the manufacturers in to do the training, but try and make it a bit fun. Trying to just make it. It's not a chore. It's something that can to help them to make more money at the end of the day. So you sell it to them.
Great guys, so time's got up with us, so we're now going to enjoy some of that coffee we've been talking about a little bit earlier. But I'd like to thank up the panel. So Markus Wood from Avensys, thank you for taking the time out today. Get a clap. Get a big hand. Ed Griffiths from Purewell, Shorey-Mills from Hughes Smart Home, and Matt Renaut from Dacombes of Wimborne.